Okay, it's 3 minutes past, so I'm gonna go.
Okay.
So the first thing is pull request 37451, which is Ceph ADM faster and more scalable document, which I'm just mentioning because it'll probably be a good source of future documentation changes. Nothing has to be done with it right now. It's just a thing that I want to keep at the top of the meeting in mind. The next thing is that we have changed the behavior of GitHub so that signed off by is no longer required for commits that happen inside the doc directory. This is so that if you have a change made through the GitHub web interface, it won't break it, or the signed off by check won't stop that from being ingested, because there were several commits that people made, and then they would try to change them through the web interface, and then it wouldn't work, and then they would just abandon them. So I actually don't know if that is working right now, because as I'll say in a minute, the main way that we were going, or the main reason that we were going to do that was sort of obviated, and we ended up using another model. But signed off by has changed. Next, there's a CephDF detail PR that I was working on. It was the primary thing I was working on before two other things got in the way, and I'm just giving an update to say that I expect that to be done probably in the next couple of hours, but maybe tomorrow. And now the meat of the meeting here. And I guess this is good that Patrick's here, because this is about his document, Ceph file system. So Josh Cullen brought to my attention a bug from maybe 4 or 5 months ago that complained that top-level links in the sidebar went nowhere. There was a little hash, like an octothorpe, or a little hash symbol, like an anchor point from old HTML, but they didn't go anywhere. I'm not entirely sure why that was the case, but in order to address it, I collected the sets of links together into restructured text documents, into talk trees in restructured text documents, so that there would be targets for these sidebar links to hit. And I removed the committed out HTML that had previously been there. Now, I don't know if this is going to mess you guys up, and if it does, we'll just revert it, but in order to prevent by default, when you put a talk tree in a restructured text document, then it appears in the text on the page, included in the page. It also appears in the sidebar, but it appears right in the middle of your document, unless you use an option for the talk tree directive, which is : hidden : and then that hides it. So I added : hidden : to each of these, included them in top level for Ceph file system, so that they would be picked up by index.rst. I included those talk trees in RST files that would be immediate children, direct children of index.rst. And as far as I can see, the most recent pull request, or the most recent commit that I've made, gives us everything that we want and nothing that we don't. And I'm getting a message from somebody. All right, sorry about that. Mike was just asking me if I'd been sent Ceph swag yet. All right, so right now I think that's I think that the CephFS docs have good taxonomy, and this was a super useful exercise, because this is exactly what I would like to do for other documents. So since Patrick, you're here, I will ask you check this out and let me know if by removing the commented out raw HTML sections, I've broken something that you guys need. I don't think so, but I wasn't there when you guys built that in there, so I don't know if I'm taking away something that was essential. All right, so that's it for that item. And then the thing that I have spent the most time on in the past week and a half is Anthony Diatri's updates. He's made massive updates to the Rados documentation, which I must have spent, I don't even know, maybe 2 days of 10 hours apiece reading out loud and then sending back and forth comments. And so the Rados documentation has been updated significantly. This is a really good collaboration and the sort of thing that we should encourage more of. He has specific knowledge of this stuff, and he made a lot of updates, and we were able to get it into the docs pretty quickly for the size of it. So that's good. That's something that I would like to do more of. And then finally, Ceph.io is out of sync with docs.ceph.com, and this is something that I had complained about, I don't know, almost a year ago, because when I was first hired by the Ceph Foundation, I did a search for okay, I'll figure out what do I need to do to install this thing, and the very first thing that comes up is Ceph.io when you search in Google. The docs.ceph.com website is the third search result from Google. So if you click on the first search result, you're sent to the Ceph.io page, which is older and which doesn't have the up-to-date docs. And Mike Perez had written to me, he wrote me about a day ago, and he asked, is there a way that we can keep them in sync so that, I'm assuming, I don't want to speak for him, but so that he doesn't have to manually do this. So maybe we can build a robot or something that does it. I don't know. Anthony, you just missed the part of the meeting when I talked about how what a pleasure it was to work with you on the Rados documentation. And
doing my part.
That's going to be it, unless you guys have anything that you want to throw on the stack. Otherwise, I'm going to go back to finishing off the Ceph DF detail PR and picking out a few more bugs that are on the stack.
Yeah, I have that one PR that's still outstanding too.
Well, let's take just a second of this meeting. Can you send it to me right now? Because
Let me look up, get on my other system here. Take a look.
Yeah,
I just have something real quick, Zach.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going through the documentation PRs, or the PRs labeled documentation on GitHub, and I know that the sign off by check was really blocking a lot of merges. What we should do is go through those and rerun the tests on those and make sure that they pass. And then I think hound any PTLs who need to, approve them so we can get them merged. We got quite a bit of backlog. I see the oldest one is from July of last year.
Okay, then, and I might be reaching too far here, but if the signed off check business isn't working the way that we want it to, maybe we can just create new PRs for each of these and push them through so that the backlog is cleared out.
Yeah, that might work.
But yeah, okay, let's.
I know rerunning tests on really old PRs sometimes doesn't work the way you might expect.
Yeah.
So it might require
Sure,
creating new PRs. And some of these people never come back to do any fixes we request.
sure.
And legally speaking, I don't know whether or not we're allowed to.
Copy
I
the
suppose
PRs.
if you just use their commit unmodified and then make another commit that fixes it the way you want, that's probably fine.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the thing that I had wanted to do, and I'm not a lawyer, and maybe you're a bit more aware of this than I am. I had wanted just to designate these stale commits as like designate them as a remote in my origin, and then pull that branch and then credit them as the author, which I know is like it might be a little confusing, but it at least preserves the like I would credit myself as a co-author or whatever. I don't care. I'm not vain about that. But it would at least allow us to ingest good suggestions unless there's some legal reason for not doing it. I can't hear you, man.
I can't hear him either.
Yeah, sorry, I was muted. I think you can just rebase their commit and then add another commit that makes the changes you want. I can just send you a list of commands to do that, Zach. You can see how.
Yeah, I have specific questions about this for my own Git education, but they're not exactly apropos in the middle of this docs meeting. But yeah, please send me that. And Anthony, I see 37587. So if you'll give me just a second to check on that,
Sure.
that'll be the end of the meeting.
Yeah, certainly. When you have commits from more than one person in a PR, it can get a little messy.
Seven five eight seven.
Yeah, you had put in a comment that was blocking merging. I think the outstanding one, double entendre, leave it in. I wasn't sure what you meant.
Yeah. Oh, I'm just being silly. That's all.
Okay, so I'll resolve that, and then hopefully.
Yeah. I'm hitting resolve right now. Yeah. Sorry. I didn't. In being friendly, I held it up, and I apologize.
Well, actually, it's still saying requested changes.
Okay, hold on. Let me see if.
But I think you may need to.
Yeah, I'll hit approve here at the top.
Okay, and then that should let it go in.
Or wait, maybe I have to re-request review on myself here, and then reload. And yeah, there we go. Okay.
Yeah, I've noticed that last week a lot of the make checks were broken. A lot of the checks were broken. I had to rerun them.
Yeah, I had to learn how to go to the read the docs rendered, the rendering of read the docs, which I did not know. All right, few changes. I'll just say. Okay, those changes are good. Are you good with me going ahead and merging this pull request, Anthony?
It works for me.
All right, well then, this meeting will also be.
And if there's anything you think that can use some work that I can dive into, or I'll just keep looking for trouble to stir up.
That would be fine with me. Right now, I am doing the CephFS thing, which I think is works, fixing the taxonomy in the CephFS documentation, and doing another thing with CephDF, which is minor. But then after that, I'm going to go through the dev guide top to bottom, just doing basically exactly the same thing that you've done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have a note that I think the existing docs for the PG balancer are out of date, but but that was more than I was prepared to get into.
Cool.
It was like missing the bias column or something, but that has changed among the releases, so that's a little hated. But yeah, I'll just keep finding things that can get updated.
Right. And the other thing, just like as an overarching thing, Pacific will be out in March, or at least it is scheduled to be out in March.
Mm-hmm.
And my big goal is that when Pacific is released in March, we have a comprehensive and accurate and easy to navigate documentation suite.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all.
Let me know. Yeah, if there are any, let me know anything that you can farm out to me.
I certainly will.
I'm all good with Rados and RBD, RGW. I don't know CephFS, so don't ask me to help with CephFS.
Well,
unless
there's
there's
Patrick right there.
English. Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
I can edit any copy, but technically, I won't be able to make judgments with FFS docs.
Okay. Well, unless there's anything else, I'm going to call the meeting at 20 minutes.
Alrighty. I don't know why my video's not working. Maybe next time.
Maybe next time.
Here's Blue Jeans.
All right. Thanks for showing up, guys. I will see you guys maybe at the next meeting.
Sure. I'll try to make it.
Bye all.
All right. Bye, guys.